Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Trogdor, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We've got more PTL action coming through. We've got a team builder this week. That's right, all 3.5, sometimes 4 of you who've been following this very closely, get excited because we got another battle coming up this weekend. We are going up against Shade and the Calgary Talonflames. Shade is 0-3 right now. We are 2-1. We're starting off the season quite strong. Shade has not been doing so hot this season, but that doesn't mean that it's like, oh, just throw something together and just press cruise control. No, we are never doing that. We are always going to look at every match very carefully, play as though this is like the game to win, and that's, you know, that's no exception right now. So, and we'll check out Shade's team and show that it's like, you know, it's a pretty spoopy team. So he's got Mega Latias, which is basically like an I win button. Mega Latias is one of like the better mons in draft format right now. We allow it for some reason, and it just can tailor a set to beat literally any team. So really got to look out for that. Infernape, which basically bodies my team given the right set. It is super tough to switch into. It is a super scary scarf set. Say that like 10 times really fast. Super scary scarf set. Super scary scarf. Yeah, I messed that up already. He's got Ferrothorn, which is super tough to switch into. It just sits there, gets Leech Seed health back, and it does more damage to you than you do to it just by doing any given attack thanks to the Iron Barbs and most likely Rocky Helmet. He's got Sylveon, which is Dragon Stopper Extraordinaire. Hyper Voice is nothing to scoff at, and it's like a really bulky Pokemon. You can run a really good defensive set and also a really good bulky spec set, so gotta watch out for that. Got Galvantula, which it does one thing, and that's get up webs, which I am slightly concerned about webs, but at the same time, if he does get them up, I can play around that. I've got a few things that'll be, you know, dealing with that properly. He's got Mantine, which I think is he recently picked that up. I think it's an interesting Pokemon. I've never really gone up against it in draft, but it's like got a lot of exploitable weaknesses, and it's especially bulky, or is it physically bulky? I don't even know its stats, but yeah, something to look out for. I think he gets like a Whirlpool trapping set or something like that. And yeah, next up he's got Delmise, which I need to remember that this is not Steel type, this is a Grass Ghost type. If he's bringing Ferrothorn, I don't see Delmise coming at all, but it's always possible. If he thinks that I'm going to be going for the Rapid Spin and he needs a spin blocker, that's his guy. It's also like a really good bulky breaker attack, like runs a really great Assault Vest set, and I think it was a fun mon to use. I've used it before. Next is Sneasel, the younger brother to Weavile, which it's still something to look out for, but its damage is nowhere near as threatening as Weavile. Yeah, I got the words right. And plus, I've been prepping for Weavile, and I am like understand like, oh, it does well against these and doesn't do so well against these. So I kind of know how to prep for Sneasel. He's got Diggersby, which it hits hard, really hard. Abandoned Earthquake has a chance to Oko Mega Steelix. It hits that hard. In return, it's got fewer switch-ins than I know what to do with, and yeah, it's kind of scary. Regirock, which I think is a really fantastic Pokemon, actually. Like, I don't have any bird spam on my team, so maybe it's not so great, but it's got like a really good Assault Vest set, it's a good Stealth Rocker. I think it's got a good like Rest Talk set, but that's just, I run a really weird set with Regirock, which I think is great, but other people don't seem to use it. It's still something to look out for. And lastly, he has Bruxish, which, can we just agree that's the ugliest Pokemon that they've ever made? Like, even its shiny form is just like barf. And, okay, so Bruxish, whatever, ugly fish, came to, I did 2 mock battles, and both of them brought it, which I was like, okay. But I realized it actually matches up quite decently against my team. It's got a respectable speed stat in like 95, I think. It's got Aqua Jet, and Strong Jaw can hit decently hard. And it also has like that anti-priority move, meaning like I bodied my last opponent with Belly Drum. Well, I wouldn't say bodied, but it's like Azumarill won me my last game thanks to Aqua Jet. So maybe Bruxish is there to stop that. And it also gets like Psychic Fangs, which it can be kind of a wall breaker, honestly. But anyway, let's get on into the team that I decided to bring. First off, we have Rotom Heat. Rotom Yeet. Yeah, Rotom does very well for me this game. Rotom has Volt Switch. Its dual stab is just fantastic this game, in all honesty. I donk the Mantine, I donk the Ferrothorn, I can Volt Switch freely except for the Diggersby, and even that has to look out for... It has to look out for the Will-O-Wisp, is what I meant to say this whole time. Yeah, so it's probably going to be my dedicated lead, just because of how likely he is to lead with... What's he likely to lead with? Galvantula. That's the thing. So he's likely to lead Galvantula. I can just overheat, and you're down to your sash. Get up webs, but at what cost? Then I can Volt Switch freely. Again, don't want to switch in the Diggersby. Maybe if he does have the Diggersby, I go for the Will-O-Wisp. And it's just overall a great matchup. I outspeed Mantine, and I can go for the Volt Switch, and it's just like, bye-bye. It's a really great momentum grabber for me. I am running enough speed for... I outspeed something. Max special attack just because I can. And decently bulky. I can switch into... Infernape decently. I can switch into Sylveon really well. It can't hit me with HP ground. And Hyper Voice, you're like doing nothing to me. And yeah, Volt Switch is really great for momentum grabbing. Thunderbolt just hits so many things hard. The only thing like he can switch into is the Latias, which I can Volt Switch out of there unless it wants to go for a Draco, which I think is the only thing that can KO me. But I'd be Volt switching into my next Pokemon, which is Azumarill Mangudyo, who really came to light last game. So I am running an AV set because its main goal is to switch into the Mega Latias. Psyshock can like barely 3-hit KO me. Meanwhile, Play Rough is just like bye-bye. The combination of Play Rough and Aqua Jet, or like Knockoff's not doing a huge amount. He doesn't appreciate knockoff spam though. Like, what's his fighting type? Infernape, and then I go for the Aqua Jet, and you're like bye-bye. So Azumarill hits things really hard. His best switch is the Ferrothorn, of course, but Superpower is hitting Ferrothorn decently hard. But again, a hit of like Aqua Jet, Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs, Superpower, Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs. It might be doing more damage to me than I am to it. Basically, Azumarill is also here not only to switch into the Latias, but his faster like offensive threats like Infernape and his other hard-hitting thing in Diggersby. I need a way to pick them off. I need to just be able to say like bye-bye, bye-bye. Which if I was banded, I could guarantee KO both of them. Aqua Jet does like 80% max to each of them, and I'm happy with that amount of damage. But I need the AV to KO to live hits from Latias. And also I think Infernape is more likely to be special than anything. Like it's probably going to have like HP Ice, Vacuum Wave if he is prepping properly for my team. I think Vacuum Wave is actually really good against me. Overheat might be Z, and then something like Grass Knot, or could even be U-Turn if he's Scarfed. But yeah, Azumarill, it also does a ton of damage to like Regirock. It can pick off the Galvantula. And yeah, Sylveon, it does not really. And Aqua Jet hits Sneasel as well. It's a great revenge killer. Next up, finally making a debut is T-Rex mode. So, Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum is a scary dinosaur that does leg day like 24/7. It can squat like 400 million pounds. Like, yeah, it's scary. But it's like, it goes to the gym and does like curl day and it's like sweating and it just can't do anything. But yeah, okay. So, Tyrantrum, I'm rocking the Dragonium Z with Dragon Dance, Outrage, Fire Fang, and Head Smash. If I get a safe Dragon Dance, I'm going to go for it. Once I Dragon Dance, I outspeed everything that is not scarfed. Max speed adamant. I outspeed not Weavile, Sneasel. So if anything, he's probably going to be scarfed Infernape, which I need to really look out for. I need to scout for that. Latias, of course, can't be scarfed because it's like Mega Stone. So Outrage, Z Outrage just blows something back. Head Smash blows Sylveon back, so watch out. Fire Fang blows Ferrothorn back, so watch out. Tyrantrum hits so hard. Like, Head Smash coming from, Head Smash coming from this, and I'm getting no recoil, thanks to Rock Head ability. And then, like, boosting that if I can, and then just the Z Outrage. So, I may or may not go for the Dragon Dance, depending on what he has left. For example, I don't want to, if it's like me versus Infernape, I don't want him to hit me with a priority move, and then I Dragon Dance and he hits me with priority again. No, I'm just going to blow it back with Head Smash, or if the Z Outrage will, if I don't need the Z Outrage to KO anything else at the time. But yeah, I'm just going to be wrecking house with the Head Smash. If I can get a Dragon Dance up, Tyrantrum basically wins. It matches up so well, and his Rock Resist is like, it's like Regirock, I think, and kind of Infernape, but no, Infernape doesn't resist that. Maybe Ferrothorn, but yeah, that's why I've got Fire Fang. It just, wow. I'm looking forward to using Tyrantrum here. Next up is Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, the Cresselia. I need to switch into Infernape. I'm running Mixed Bulk, so it basically can't 2-hit KO me with anything. Rocky Helmet for like stopping things like it going for the U-turn, or switching into the Sneasel going for, oh no, I'm not switching into Sneasel. What am I talking about? If he's smart, he'll bring Sneasel for Cresselia, but then he's sacrificing something else. The most likely 6, I should have gone over this earlier. Lati, Infernape, Ferrothorn, almost certainly. Probably Galvantula, probably Diggersby, and then either Bruxish, Sneasel, or Sylveon. Maybe Mantine instead of one of those 6, but I definitely think the first 3 are coming. Diggersby is coming because it's like, what switch-ins exist for Diggersby? And yeah, Cresselia, I've got Moonlight, Psychic, HP Fire, and Toxic. I don't want to be a sitting duck in front of Ferrothorn and just let it get Leech Seed damage. I want to be able to donk it with the HP Fire. Psychic, of course, because like he doesn't really have good switch-ins for that. I'm not running any like offense. And Moonlight for recovery, Toxic, so I'm not a sitting duck against a Latias. Unless he's running like Calm Mind, Refresh, Roost, Stored Power. But then what's he gonna do to Weavile? Anyway, next up is also making a debut is Pointer Exception, the Type Null. Type Null is so bulky. Eviolite, 95 defenses. This has the potential to be like one of the bulkiest things on my team. It's ridiculous. Anyway, U-turn, Toxic, HP Fire, and Roar. I'm running a relaxed nature so I can get slow U-turns off. This and Rotom Yeet will be getting me some good momentum going. Type Null switches in on a lot of things. I can Toxic things, I can Roar away setup, I can Toxic like Sylveon, the Regirock, the Latias, I can Roar Ferrothorn away or go for the U-turn because, well, no, that thing's probably slower than me. But yeah, it gets me into some of my more offensive threats like the Rotom, the Tyrantrum, the Azumarill, and just overall a really good bulky pivot for my team, which I think matches up decently. I can, of course, switch Cresselia into the Infernape, because Infernape's the only thing that can really break it, and Infernape can't do anything to Cresselia. Like, Rocky Helmet's basically doing more than a close combat from Infernape. And then lastly, I have Weavile. Weavile is my current KOs leader, even after not doing anything last game. It's still like the league or the MVP of Division 2, pending one game that hasn't been played yet. Like, come on, guys, just play your game. Ice Shard, Ice Punch, Knockoff, and Low Kick. This donks Latias. Like, unless he's running like max special attack dragon move, I'm just hitting you so hard. You can't hit me. And you're sacrificing then either Roost, Calm Mind, or Refresh to hit Weavile. And yeah, Ice Punch, it's basically no matter what, Ice Punch and Icicle Crash are both a 2-hit KO. Even if it's like Back's defense or like not offensive at all. Icicle Crash has like a chance to KO if he's fully offensive and not invested in defense. But even then, I don't like missing moves. And that includes head smash. Missing head smashes is like the worst thing. But yeah, Weavile is just really great. Nothing wants to take a knockoff. Nothing wants to take a low kick. Like well, I'm going to be ice sharding the Diggersby if anything else. But yeah, low kick will be hitting the Ferrothorn, the Regirock, knock everything off, and it's like that's why I don't like megas that are weak to knockoff, because it's like megas are probably one of the better switches. Well, also he's got Z Infernape, maybe that'll be switching into my Weavile, but then if you switch into a knockoff and it's not doing a ton of damage, then I know you're Z, I know I can outspeed you, and it's just a safe switch into Cresselia. So how long have I been rambling? Way too long. That's the team, everybody. Like the video if you liked it. Battle's going to be going up tomorrow. Subscribe if you're new and want to follow like Pokemon and Minecraft and other random games that I like to play. And yeah, comment down below if you got anything else to say. Anyway, that's all I've got for today, so I'll see everyone in the next one. Take care now. Bye bye.